Hello everybody, today we have beautiful gaming Asus TUF i9 13th gen laptop with beautiful screen, 144 Hz and great graphics, RTX 4060. Let's take it apart, let's see what we can fix, replace or upgrade. So take out all the screws from the bottom case. And everything was around the edge. Let's check under that tape. Okay, so now we have to separate the bottom case. Okay. And here we have the part number. Now start with disconnecting the battery. You have to slide this clip up and then you can pull out the connector. And now we can take it out. So if the battery is swollen or doesn't hold the charge, you can replace it. Here, that's our model number for the battery. Okay. Now let's check under those covers. That's our RAM memory slots. So if the memory doesn't work, you can replace it or you can upgrade it. So spread those arms and you can pull out the memory. Okay. Here, under this cover, that's our storage. So if your laptop doesn't boot and tells you there is no boot device or you would like to upgrade storage to the bigger one, that's how you can do it. So that's the NVMe SSD drive. Here in this place we can see our Wi-Fi card. If the Wi-Fi doesn't work, you can replace this card. So gently disconnect the antenna wires. And now we can pull out the card. Okay, here we have the model number for the battery. Now let's take out our heatsink and fans. So if your laptop overheats and you would like to add cooling paste between the heatsink and the chip, or if the fans don't spin or they make grinding noise, you can replace them. So unscrew all the screws. And now be careful, leave the heatsink. It may be stuck to the motherboard because of the cooling paste. Once it dries out, it gets stuck. But yeah, so be gentle. Don't bend it. If you bend it, it won't work anymore. Alright, so the heatsink is out. That's our part number on the white sticker. Now let's take out the fan. So unplug it from the motherboard. Look for the part numbers on those stickers. And that's the opposite side fan. Here on the motherboard, that's our processor and the graphics. They both soldered on the motherboard. So if these don't work, you have to replace the motherboard. Okay, now that's our I/O board. It has our USB port. So if that port doesn't work, you can replace this board. Unscrew this one screw here and disconnect from the motherboard. I always close those clips, otherwise you can break it later if you leave it open. Alright, that's our I/O board. Now let's pull out our motherboard. So disconnect that video cable. Disconnect the speaker. Disconnect the keyboard and the touchpad. And now let's take out all the remaining screws. Oh, there's one more connector here. We missed one connector here. Alright, so that's our motherboard. Here we have the part number. And now let's take out our speakers. So if the sound is bad, you can replace your speakers. Here we have the part number. Now to disconnect the Palmrest keyboard touchpad assembly from the screen, you would have to unscrew those screws for the hinges. In our case, those are broken, so we can only unfold that Palmrest keyboard assembly. Now we can disconnect it. Let's see. We can replace the touchpad. So if the touchpad doesn't work, you can replace it. Unscrew these screws here. That's our touchpad. And as for the keyboard is riveted to the Palmrest. You cannot replace it. So if you need to change the keyboard, you have to buy the whole Palmrest keyboard assembly like this. If you're looking for parts, check gotlaptopparts.com. And now let's take out the LCD. So find a gap where you can start disconnecting the front bezel. Bezel is held by clips and sometimes adhesive. In our case, I can feel the adhesive. It's glued to the screen on the bottom. On the sides you have any clips, and on the top clips as well. Sometimes you have to wiggle this plastic part to disconnect the clips. There is some adhesive also, I can feel it, so be gentle. So that's our bezel. Unfortunately it was cracked. Look for the part number on the white sticker. And now let's take out our hinges. Okay, so these are our hinges. Now, so I inspected the screen. There are no pull-ups sticking out, so we cannot take out the adhesive. The whole screen is glued with adhesive to the back cover. It's very fragile, very thin. So I won't be taking out this one, otherwise it will crack. Alright, thank you guys for watching. See you in the next video.